The Remembering Them podcast is a platform for people to share stories and memories of their loved ones who have passed away. The podcast was created in memory of Dad, Bob Cecil. May he rest in peace. Your hosts Mark, Ryan, and Luke acknowledge the rich history and importance of storytelling within Indigenous culture.
My name is Jorgi Skeen, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we meet here today. Today we're meeting in Meanjin, and those traditional owners are the Yagara and Turrbal people. And I'd also like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledge my people, the Gubbi Gubbi people, and extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in today.
Hello, Luke and Ryan. Welcome back to the podcast.
Hello, Mark.
Good morning, boys.
It is good to see you. You've been away doing different things, as we've heard from Luke, so it's good to have you back.
Thanks, Luke. I'm glad
No
you're
worries.
aware of my schedule.
I've always got your back, mate. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Well, Ryan, let's see if your guessing has improved while you've been away.
Oh, I
Highly
bet it
doubtful. To our listeners, as always, 3 clues for you and for Ryan and Luke to try and guess where our guest is from today. First clue. This place was where Thomas Edison invented the phonograph, improved the light bulb, and created the first industrial research lab. Are you familiar with Thomas Edison's game?
His game? His mad inventing game?
Yes.
As an electrician, I am very close to Mr. Edison himself.
Yeah.
Yes. So I know the answer. So Ryan,
Oh.
I'll hand over to you.
Do you really?
Wow.
This would be like a first in podcast history if we could get this.
I'm just fucking these. I don't know the
I
answer.
think he's clearly American. Well, shit, is he? Yeah, he's American.
Yeah.
All right. I think like New York or something. What do you think? It's got to be East Coast. They're all old over there.
I'm thinking like Tornado Valley, mate. Oklahoma.
Okay, so which one are you going?
Can we
New
have
York?
both?
You
Yeah,
go.
you
You
we'll
can
go
have one.
both.
You can have one.
Give us Tornado York.
Which one?
Tornado
Let's
Valley.
Go New York.
Going to Oklahoma?
Yeah, Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Oklahoma is incorrect.
Okay.
Second clue. Let's see if this takes you to
You
New
sure?
York. This place has more diners per capita than any place on Earth.
And it sounded like New York.
Oklahoma.
It's
It's definitely not Oklahoma.
sounded like New York here, I gotta say.
New York?
Yeah, sounds Brooklyn-y. They
Seinfeld
have. I
diners.
saw something where it's like it takes 20 years to eat at all the restaurants in New York.
Oh, who would try that?
Oh, it's not New York. There must be somewhere that takes 21, 22 years. Clue number 3.
That wasn't our guess.
Oh,
Yeah,
unlucky.
he's got to
Clue-
speed this along.
Yeah, clue number 3. There is a beach here that inspired Peter Benchley's novel Jaws, which then became a global cultural phenomenon, of course.
Shit.
I can only think of California or Florida.
Yeah, and there's like beaches up the East Coast that aren't much. Man, maybe we are in California. Thomas Edison though? Oof.
California's subjectively bigger than Florida. Busier,
Yeah.
shall
Let's
we
do it.
say.
Let's do it.
California?
Yeah.
Incorrect.
That's
We
on you, Ryan.
we are in New Jersey. So with our clues, Menlo Park, New Jersey was where Thomas Edison invented all of those things.
We should get that for the New York answer, I think.
No, you're very close, but close is not correct. Clue number 2, yeah, they've got a fierce rivalry with New York over who has the better bagels, but New Jersey actually has the place with the most diners per capita. And clue number 3, the infamous 1916 Jersey Shore shark attacks. 1916 Jersey Shore shark attacks resulted in 4 fatalities, 1 serious injury over a span of 12 days, 1st of July to the 12th of July, 1916. So I think there's obviously Shark Week, but there's some other really good documentaries out there around that. So New Jersey is a densely populated US state known for its diverse culture, rich history, and proximity to major cities like New York and Philadelphia.
Fun
Yes.
fact about New Jersey: in America, one time a kid heard my accent and said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Where do you think I'm from?" And they said, "New Jersey."
What?
And I was like, "It's not.
Ah,
That's not even close, my
You
man."
idiot.
silly kid. Our guest today is a former massage therapist who now works as a grief integration coach and self-love advocate. She recently lost her beloved golden doodle, Alexi, who was just shy of 11 years old and deeply cherished by her and her husband. She's currently in a long-distance relationship with a partner in the Dominican Republic, navigating delays in the visa process. She's passionate about live music, the ocean, capturing memories, and also has a playful, goofy side that she's starting to express through grief humor skits, to share more authentically with her community. Our guest today from New Jersey is Katherine Brito. So welcome to the Remembering Them podcast officially, Katherine, or Kat. Thank you very much for joining us today, all the way over from New Jersey in the United States.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So happy and honored to be here with you all.
Absolutely our honor, and we can't wait to have this conversation with you. If you'd like to start by telling us who we're talking about today and what happened to that special person in your life.
Yes, so I am a widow grieving my husband, Anthony. He passed away 7 years ago this February to a very aggressive cancer. He passed away 5 weeks from diagnosis, and yeah, it was brutal.
And what type of cancer, Katherine?
So it was a neuroendocrine tumor. It was just a bunch of cells in his body that just over time multiplied. And by the time that he got the first symptom, which was pain in the liver, it was already stage 4.
So he'd been living with it for some time? Was that time frame sort of given to you, or?
That's what doctors said afterwards. They said, I mean, he was extremely healthy. My husband was like, ironically, eating all the cancer fighting foods, working out twice a day, just like super healthy guy and healthy until he wasn't. And they said it must have been in his body for just for a long time. And it was just, the silent killer. It only came out when it was just too late.
How
Wow.
old was he, Catherine?
46.
Oh man.
Yeah, very young. I was 35.
Oh my
So,
God.
Yeah, we're not too far from that, so it's a bit and well, I can speak for Ryan and Luke and myself. I
Don't
think
you
we're
speak
all
for me. Don't you dare.
we're all similar to Anthony, I guess, fairly fit and healthy and look after ourselves and eat the right things. Ryan probably more than us two, but are there, looking back on it now, is it general checkups or is there a way that may have caught this sooner?
You know, um, Ironically, he had a physical he was diagnosed in February of 2018, and in June of 2017, he had a physical, and everything was great. Like there was nothing that came up at all. It was alarming. No high calcium levels, no high liver levels, nothing. But now looking back around September, October, he was very exhausted and he was like very, just really tired. And we didn't think anything of it other because we were caregivers full time to his parents. His mother had Alzheimer's and she was bedbound, and his dad was in his late 80s, also declining. So I just thought, we're just working so much and taking care of, of them so all day. Like he must just be exhausted. But it was, it turns out that that was just the cancer was really, making its way. And he went from the 2 workouts to just like barely finishing one, really dizzy. So those were the signs that we had no idea that it was cancer, but that's how it started to show a few months before.
And I think you mentioned it was a fairly rapid decline as well from when they actually found it to him passing away.
Oh my gosh, very rapid. Like January 1st, he woke up with liver pain, and then the next day he complained about it, and the third day, and I said, "Okay, babe, something's wrong. This pain isn't going away." And then called the doctor January 4th, and on the 16th, he was diagnosed with it, and he passed away February 22nd. So it was like very brutal. And I'm talking about my husband could carry a 400-pound couch on his shoulders and he couldn't bend down to tie his sneakers. Like he couldn't walk. It was awful. Like it was such a rapid decline.
Uh, And that, I mean, just on 5 weeks, if my calculations are correct, uh, what was that period like? Did you have, obviously, it would have been a whirlwind, I could imagine, but how did you prepare yourself? Could you prepare yourself? What was that period like?
I feel like I could have if I didn't have the denial that I was in. I mean, Mark, I was in such denial the minute he was diagnosed, which I was so upset the way that he was diagnosed. He was alone in the doctor's office, and I was in the waiting room, and they wouldn't let me go in. So they told him this news alone with his wife in the waiting room. So I walked in the room and he's got like tears streaming down his face, telling me I have stage 4 cancer. And the minute he said that, it was like a light switch. And I was like, what? No, you're going to be fine. And I seriously went into this massive denial. So multiple doctor's appointments. I mean, just keeping track of all the medications he had to take, just doing so much, still taking care of my in laws, taking care of him, figuring out what was going on because they misdiagnosed him too. First, they thought it was colon cancer. Then they like it just we didn't get the exact correct cancer that it was until a week before he died.
Was there any treatment plan at that point, or not really? Did they have anything to do?
You know, his oncologist did say we can start with light chemo. Let's start trying to, to get this as soon as we can. But he just declined so fast, Ryan, that he could only handle like 10 minutes of chemo. And
Yeah.
it made it worse. It was crazy
Oh
how
my
quickly.
God.
Yeah. And it was like, he was jaundiced and then he would kind of like look a little bit more normal and then he'd be very jaundiced again and the levels went up a little more and then they would drastically go down again and then the last week he just wasn't eating at all. He couldn't even take like a full deep breath. It was all just ice chips and you know that's it. That's what he ate.
Mm.
Ice chips for a week.
What was his attitude like during that period? Was he pretty pessimistic, or was he up like trying to be upbeat for you, or like how was he?
You know what? He was very much like when he got diagnosed, he was like, I'm gonna beat this. When the doctor did give an initial plan, he's like, let's do it. Whatever I want to, whatever it needs to be done, I'm ready to do it. And he was ready to fight it, but he was just so like his body was just, the decline wasn't, it was already so advanced that it wouldn't let him do it. But he was not at all, he wasn't pessimistic at all. He wasn't angry at all. And he knew that I was in such denial that he was just kind of like coddling me, which was, it's awful. It's like he's processing his own death. He's looking at my denial. He has he has so much that he must have been going through in his mind at the moment. But yeah, he was just kind of like he could barely speak too. Like the last 2 weeks, when he would speak, he'd start coughing a lot, so he would barely speak. So he just kind of processed everything internally. But yeah, he wasn't angry at all, surprisingly.
Before his diagnosis, Catherine, healthier, happier times, how would you describe Anthony to us, to strangers?
Oh my gosh. Quiet strength. He was like that person that walks into the room and you just like instantly feel safe with him in the room. He was a lover of the underdog. And he was the kind of person that like you shared a dream with him or something you wanted to accomplish. And he'd say, okay, how do we get this done? How can I help you? What do we need to do? You're gonna do this. Like he was just such a believer in people and just so kind and genuinely kind and honest to a fault. Like he was just such a great guy, very witty. He had the best one-liners, so funny and so smart. Like he was like my little human Google. He knew everything about everything somehow.
Do you have a favorite story or memory of Anthony, either him or yourselves together?
Ooh, I have a whole scrolly marquee of those, but I was just talking about this yesterday with my community, so I'll share this story. It's very simple, guys, but one day I was on the couch just watching, just silly TV with him, and I had him on the right side and our soul dog, Lexi, who she just passed 2 months ago. And I remember looking at them and saying to him, babe, I everything I've ever wanted is in this room. And I said, you know, not just happiness, because that's of course fleeting and conditioned, but like I feel so much joy and truly fulfilled. Like I can just die tomorrow happy. Like it just being with him and the love that we had, which was beyond extraordinary. That's it's such a simple moment, but it just meant everything to me.
No, that's beautiful. What did he, interestingly, what did he say in reply to you saying that to him?
He just like got emotional because he was a musician. He was just a very like deep man, and he was emotional, and he just looked at me and he said, "I love you." And he's like, "I have everything I need with you." And we just kissed and had some wine and kept watching TV.
That's a really
That's cute.
nice memory. Yeah.
That's cute. I wanted to ask Kat, how did you two meet initially?
Oh my God, super classic, but not for today's day and age. Classic. We met in 2010, end of 2010. I was at a bar with a friend, and he sent over a drink, and then the bartender at the time was my friend. She came over and said, "Look, that drink is from that guy. He's cute, and he kept looking at you." And so I looked over, and I'm like, "Oh, he is cute. I better go say thank you." So I just went over there and thanked him for the drink, and that was it. You know, we exchanged numbers, went on our first date a week after, and we were inseparable ever since. Like such a classic, like a guy and a girl at a bar.
It's like a movie. I didn't actually think that works. I've tried that a lot. Never got anywhere.
You don't you have to swipe now or something? Like
Yeah,
Oh,
something
it's so
about
like
different.
phones.
swipe a drink over there or something.
Oh.
No, I'm like, you know what? I am such a analog heart in a digital world. So
Not a
I
bad thing.
think
Kath, was there a quote or saying or something that Anthony either said or did that reminds you of him?
This is a paid partnership with BetterHelp. Hey Luke and Ryan, life gets heavy sometimes, especially when grief hits. For me, that weight often shows up as anxiety.
Yeah, it's not always one big thing. Sometimes it's just life piling up, work, relationships, trying to hold it all together. Suddenly, I'm anxious and don't know why.
Totally. I used to think anxiety meant panic attacks, but for me, it's more like overthinking every choice or feeling like I'm never doing enough.
And it can even hit on good days. Out of nowhere, I'm spiraling over things that haven't even happened yet.
It's easy to feel alone in it, but you're not.
That's why we're talking about our paid partner, BetterHelp.
BetterHelp connects you with credentialed therapists who can help manage anxiety and more.
Most people go to BetterHelp for anxiety, and 69% feel better after just 6 weeks.
Getting started is simple. Fill out a quick questionnaire and get matched with a therapist. If it's not a fit, you can switch at any time.
Their support team is super responsive, and with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 Trustpilot rating, it's a platform you can count on.
So let BetterHelp help manage your anxiety so it doesn't manage you.
Click the link below or go to betterhelp.com/rememberingthem for 10% off your first month.
yes, there's a lot of quotes I love, but my favorite, it just came to be like out of nowhere. I've even like tattooed it in my arm with his handwriting. He wrote me a letter 2 months after we met. We used to always kind of like write each other little love notes, and he wrote me this beautiful letter, and he signed it with "Undying Love Forever, Tony." And then for years since he died, I was just like trying to find the perfect definition for grief. And there's many beautiful ones, but I said, this isn't it. It's going to be something that really hits me. And one day I just walked into our room because I have it framed in our bedroom. And I was reading the letter and I said, oh my God, this is the most beautiful definition of grief, undying love forever. And that just sticks with me. And it's such a reminder, you know, of like how grief and love just expand you, and it's just ongoing and a forever unfolding.
You've obviously got the physical with the tattoo there now that would remind you of him. How do you keep Anthony's memories alive now? How do you honor him today?
I do embody my favorite qualities of his. I embody them. I keep his honesty, just his kindness, all of the qualities of his that I love. I embody those, and I keep him alive that way. I literally keep him alive physically too. Like I've taken his clothing and repurposed them, and I made crop tops out of all his shirts. And just the work that I do in general, being a grief coach, and just I love speaking about him to the world. And I feel like any life or heart that I touch is through Anthony, because I would never even be here having this conversation with you if he hadn't lived and then died, you know. So I keep him very alive through my work.
It makes sense, and yeah, it's great that you're doing that and are able to preserve his legacy that way and keep talking about him, and we're grateful that you're here talking about him as well. Lessons that you've learned from Anthony as a person, I guess, before he got sick, and then into the grief process that you've gone through, lessons that you may be able to pass on to people that are going through something similar.
Yeah, he always just taught me how to truly love, like really love wholeheartedly and openly, and just to be comfortable in my own skin and to believe in myself. And as cliche as it sounds, like to know my worth, because he would always say, like, the world's going to try to tear you down so much and it's going to try to make you forget who you are. Like, just remember who you are and all the answers are inside. And just it was just like such a source of like internal strength, like always he was always pushing me to like remember that everything you need is already inside of you, and just silence the noise outside when you really want answers, and it's all in here, and to trust myself. And that's been really huge, because now when I make big decisions or even little ones, like I close my eyes and I put my hands on my heart and I just really have a conversation with myself and in turn with him. And it's like I know what to do.
This guy's way smarter than me.
Yeah, he seems so wise.
You know what's crazy? I understand so much more because I'm getting to know him now in a different sense. Like, now I'm 42 and now I'm, in his decade, and like I'm understanding so many things that he used to share with me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And now I'm like, oh, I get it. I get it, babe. Yep. Like, I'm just getting to know
Yeah.
him on a whole other level now in the most beautiful way.
It is weird. Like that happened to me with my friend Scott, who he was 31. So when he died, which was 10 years ago. And like now I'm just like, yeah, now I'm like understanding why he was like the way he is. And I was like, that's so much better. And it's like, God, he was like 10 years ahead of me on that front. So I feel you.
Oh, yeah.
Catherine, what about for people, and you mentioned the denial that you felt at that stage one on diagnosis. Do you have any advice for people that may have, partner, family, or friend with that early diagnosis, and then maybe the fast regression in their health? What advice would you give to people that might be going through something similar?
Yeah, it's really hard to kind of say have a trusted source, because not everyone does. But I was in deep denial and everyone around me knew it, so they just kind of let me be. There was no way to get through to me. It's just when someone's in deep, deep denial, there's nothing you can say that'll get them out of it. I would say the person supporting them, just kind of like have patience and not say the obvious thing, because it's just going to make it even worse. Like, I had a friend in the hospital telling me, you have to prepare yourself, like he could die any minute. And then I just became like an enraged lunatic. I was like, what are you talking about? He's not dying. Like, it just, it's unfortunately, when you're in that denial, nothing's getting you out of it. You just have to be patient with the person. I didn't understand that my husband was actually dying until he died here in our home. Like, he came home from hospice and my denial was so intense. The doctors told me, well, there's nothing more we can do. Just take him home to be comfortable. And I was still planning, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow and this whole week. And this is how we're going to take care of him. And he was breathing 4 breaths per minute. So, like, I was like watching my husband die, and I had literally just, it didn't hit me until he actually died. Yeah. So denial it's really tough. It's I understand now, as my brain protecting me, and you have no choice over it. It just kind of happens. Other people just they spring into action, and they just, it doesn't affect them in that way. But for me, it was just the way my brain was. It was like Mount Everest was about to fall apart. My brain was like, I gotta keep this girl from having a heart attack herself.
I think it's fair because people, you don't know how you're going to react until you're in that situation. I can't certainly say that I would be the person that would spring into action, or I'm the denial person, or whatever it is. So, um, I guess be kind to yourself on that front. So is the message or the lesson to other people is just to be open and listen to other people? Is that how you would done things differently?
The Remembering Them podcast is supported by My Legacy Message. How do you want to be remembered? My Legacy Message provides a service that delivers a personalized keepsake video to your loved ones, often as a surprise after you pass. My Legacy Message. Be remembered.
Yeah, looking back, I don't think that I would have done anything differently because what I really needed to do, I did, which was be by my husband's side. Like denial or not, I did not leave his side. I was taking care of him round the clock. My only regret, which again, this is why it's kind of like tricky because I wish I would have asked him, is there something you want me to do? Is there someone you want me to call? But these are all things that you only ask when you actually have the awareness that the person is actually dying. And I've done such a deep dive into denial and spoken to so many other grievers, and they're like, I didn't realize my husband was dying until he died. Same thing. It's like, it's just so it's bigger than you and it's hard to control, but just be kind to yourself and give yourself grace. And anyone supporting a grieving person that they clearly see they're in denial, just anything they want to share from the heart, sure, and help out, but just gently, and not trying to be like logical with someone that's not going to see, like not trying to reason with someone that's just not there's just a wall in between.
Yeah, that's good advice. And what about now post Anthony passing away? I know it's been 7 years now. What about advice for people processing their grief?
Oh my gosh. The very first thing I always say is please, please, please listen to your own heart. And you're not selfish for whatever way you want. You hear this all the time. There's no right way to grieve. There really isn't. If you're an open griever, great. If you need to stay within yourself and just have a small group of people that you feel safe to share with, great. If you need to be on your own a little bit, great. Whatever comes up, and not to hold it in, like any emotions that you really want to express, if you have a safe person or a safe place to let that out. And there is no right or wrong way, because the world's going to tell you, you should do this by now, you should have that done by now, this is healthy, this is unhealthy, it's been too long for this, it's not, just really hone into yourself and ask yourself what it is that I need. And if you don't know what you need, because sometimes we don't, you sure do know what you don't need. And then just stay close to people that support you and nurture you. And if that's not friends and family, then find a community that does get it, and that you can have someone that you can safely share what you're feeling, because it's everything to be able to have someone you can trust, or a space you can express what's going on, and just be met with grace and understanding and where you are, versus trying to fix or change or edit anything about your process.
Great advice, and not surprisingly, given the work that you do now. And speaking of communities, Kat, tell us about your community that you've built, and how you help people today.
So I know everyone says this, every coach says this, but my community is really the best community. Like I have the best community on both TikTok and Instagram, completely different followers on each, but they're just really amazing. And they're all people that just really just want to be heard and validated and seen, and they just want to be allowed to be sad and to feel what they feel, and just supported in this experience that's forever. It's not a finite thing. And grief shifts, of course, it changes, and it evolves, but it is still very permanent. It lasts as long as love does. Um, so now I mainly support widows, but I do offer all types of support for all types of loss. But I support grievers through workshops, and I have an upcoming membership for widows this fall. Um, I offer groups, one-to-ones, little 30-day challenges, all sorts of avenues, because every griever is different, and you have to have different avenues of support for everyone. But it's truly beautiful to walk alongside hearts that are when they need it the most. That's like, it's such a gift for me. It's really sacred work.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Katherine, for sharing it. And of course, we'll link to all of um, your followers. Not that you need it. Probably have a much larger community than our little humble podcast. Guys, any last questions for Kat before I hit her with the tough one, the big one?
I do, but I'm going to save it for the Patreon.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice, Luke. Okay,
yeah,
Luke.
I'm okay. It's go for it,
Okay.
Mark. It's all yours.
All
Floor's
right.
yours.
Kat, traditionally, the last question for you, traditionally the hardest question of the podcast, or most difficult, but I'm sure you'll be fine. If Anthony was in front of you here today, what would you say to him?
My gosh, I would just say I love you and thank you for your love. Thank you for your life. Thank you for loving me the way that you did. And thank you for allowing me to love you the way that I was able to love you, because you opened up your heart fully to me. And thank you for choosing me out of every person in the world you could have chosen, giving me the honor of being your best friend and wife. And I would tell him that he is my grief embraced with love, the cornerstone of my life. And I will repeat the words I last said to him when I was holding his hand right before they took him to the morgue. I said, I will love you for the rest of my life with my whole heart. And that's what I would say.
It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I didn't think you'd be able to beat the couch conversation that you had, and you proved me wrong. So, well done, Katherine. That's really beautiful, that message, and thank you for coming on. We're grateful for having you on, you giving up your time to being on the podcast and sharing your story and memories of Anthony. We've really enjoyed hearing about him and his wisdom and his strength, and it sounded like a much better man than the three of us combined. But thank you for coming on and speaking about him. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure your message will help anyone else going through something similar.
Thank you again for having me here. It's really one of the reasons I love talking about him so much now is because 4 years ago I wouldn't be able to do this. For the first 3 years I couldn't even talk about it. So it's beautiful to be able to open up about him without falling apart, and actually just being able to to share and be of service to others now. So thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, Kat. So guys, that was Katherine from New Jersey.
It took all of my being to not try and do a New Jersey accent that whole time. You don't know the self-control I have. It's incredible.
I think you did at one point.
You did in the Patreon chat.
Tony.
Is it Tony? That was it. But
if you want to hear that poor attempt, you have to be a Patreon member to get that.
If you want to hear an even worse attempt, DM me.
What an amazing person. What an amazing love story. We spoke, and this is a nice little segue into the Patreon chat. If you want to hear more about Kat's amazing love story with Tony, and how they met, and we talked about their journey, and also we touched on her newfound love with her fiance as well. So that was a really cool chat as well. So just a reminder, for Patreon, we have it's $6 a month US, about $10 a month Aussie. Do that conversion to be a Patreon member and get access to all of those exclusive chat with our guests. So get involved there.
You get a hard hitting question too. I don't know if you've given that away, that you flip the script on that typically hardest last question.
Yeah, you have to hear be a Patreon member to hear those answers as well. So jump on, and it's also a way to support the podcast. But guys, what an awesome chat with Kat. She was fantastic.
Yeah. And I miss Tony already. We're just not talking about him. It's like, yeah.
I feel like we were lucky to hear about him. He just seemed like an absolute stud of a guy. And
look at the photos. He looks pretty cool. He's a cool cat. Yeah.
Is he really tall? He's a big guy.
I wouldn't say like super tall, but just like
good cuddler. That's the vibes I'm getting.
Cuddler. I mean, not for me, but yeah.
Everyone loves a good cuddle, mate.
Yeah, no, for the ladies, I'm sure. Yeah. But not for this guy.
You don't cuddle your
cuddle dudes? No, Nah, just give him a little, just quick hug in and out. That's it.
In the
dap.
Patreon chat, we also talked about Tony's amazing music abilities, so jump on there because Kat also has an amazing urn, which so we won't go into that too much, but you have to be a Patreon member to get involved there.
Sorry, can't hear that.
Just a reminder as well, we have the My Legacy Message service as well, mylegacymessage.com.au, where you can leave messages, video messages to your loved ones, often as a surprise after you pass away. And I'm sure that Kat would love to have a video message from Tony that she can cherish forever, even though she does in different ways. Today, I think that'd be something that she would enjoy. So get involved there. My Legacy Message. We also obviously have the BetterHelp partnership as well. So jump on the link or betterhelp.com/remembering them. If you require any help in the grief space, obviously Kat does a lot of work for her community there, but if you need that extra little discussion with a qualified therapist, then jump on there and it's, I believe it's 10% off your first month if you use our link. So get involved there to help support the podcast as well. Give us a rating and review. We would love for you to jump on your preferred podcast platform and give us 5 stars, of course. That conversation with Kat alone, I think, is worth 5 stars. So please jump on there and follow us on all of our socials, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're on all of those. So get involved. I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah, well done, man. Jeez,
Amazing.
you're good at this.
We've been doing it for over 100 episodes now, mate, so hopefully I'd be okay by now.
I'd still suck at it, but thanks, yeah.
I love to throw you under the bus sometimes with those.
It's so jarring.
What an amazing conversation with Kat. We hope that you have enjoyed it. Please share this episode if you think that it would help anyone out there going through grief. I'm sure this conversation with Kat and any of our previous conversations will help someone out there going through grief. So thank you very much, you two, for joining us. Ryan, great to see you back and have your input.
Thanks, mate.
Important input into the podcast. Those hard-hitting questions.
Hey, so Tony, what do he sound? Tony, he sound like from Jersey.
Good to see you both. Looking forward to the next conversation.
See you, mate.
Love you, mate.
I love you all.
The Remembering Them podcast is created for entertainment purposes. Mark, Ryan, and Luke are not licensed mental health professionals. If you would like to discuss your mental well-being, several resources are available in Australia. Information about these services is available in the podcast notes. Please take the time to contact a loved one today and tell them how much you appreciate and love them.